The Dark Knight, the Caped Crusader, the world's greatest detective. If there is one superhero that has had a paramount presence across all eras of pop culture and television, it is the Batman. Created by artist Bob Kane and writer Bill Finger, Batman made his debut in the 27th issue of the comic book Detective Comics in 1939. That is also, kids, where DC gets its name from. It's DC for Detective Comics. In this video, I will discuss various portrayals of Batman in films and television and give my opinion on who I think is the perfect, ultimate, best Batman.
You're not just some guy in a bat costume, are you?
But before we begin, I would like to remember a talent we lost this year. Kevin Conroy was the voice behind Batman in many popular animated shows like the 1992 Batman, the animated series, and its subsequent 1999 Batman Beyond.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
His final work as Batman will be in the upcoming video game Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. Now let's roll the intro and quickly get on with the video. Batman's first appearance in TV was in 1943 with Batman, a 15-chapter theatrical serial produced by Colombia Pictures.
America's #1 crime fighter, Batman. Yes, Batman.
And what is a good word for disappointing? Let's just say it was embarrassing. It was racist, full of propaganda, and truly a product of his time. Batman wasn't always the dark and gritty character Frank Miller and Alan Moore has made us fall in love with. Batman in films started off as an American spy sent to take on a Japanese spy. You see, America was at that time deep down into World War II because of reasons, and their hatred towards Japanese people was reflected in various forms of art at that time. And the then Batman was no different.
This was part of a foreign land transplanted bodily to America and known as Little Tokyo. Since a wise government rounded up the shifty-eyed Japs, it has become virtually a ghost street.
The film stars Lewis Wilson as Batman and Douglas Croft as his sidekick Robin. Who was the main villain of the first ever Batman theatrical cut, you ask? Well, I'm disappointed you did. He was an original character written for the show. I will let the man give his own introduction.
I am Dr. Daka, humble servant of His Majesty Hirohito, heavenly ruler and prince of the rising sun. By divine destiny, my country shall destroy the democratic forces of evil in the United States to make way for the new order. An order that will bring about the liberation of the enslaved people of America.
Of course, Batman is an American spy against a Japanese spy, Daka, and even then it fails to be a good spy thriller.
Slap his face.
The film was, however, despite all its nuances, a commercial success, and that calls for a sequel, the 1949 Batman and Robin. The New Adventures of Batman and Robin, the Wonder Boy, also known as simply Batman and Robin, is yet another 15-chapter serial by Columbia Pictures. The role of Batman was this time played by Robert Lowry, while Johnny Duncan played Robin, the Wonder Boy. Wait, do I have to keep saying the Wonder Boy every time I say Robin?
Yes?
The bat signal is on and this veil is still here.
Okay, I'll get rid of her.
The main villain was another original character written for the show, the Wizard.
Forget Batman. I gave you a job to do, Nolan, and you failed. I don't like failures.
Maybe. There must be some other way we can get a hold of the detonators.
There is. I always have a plan.
The serial did not have the racial slurs like its predecessor, but it suffered from a low budget. No attempt was made to create the Batmobile, and instead, a black 1939 Cadillac Series 61 was used. The costumes looked bad, if not very bad.
Are you admitting that you're the wizard, Professor?
Yes, I'm ready to make a full confession.
Keeping everything in mind and our sanity together, we can safely say that neither of the two serials make it anywhere on the list of our perfect Batman.
What did you think I was?
Bruce Wayne. Wasn't that silly?
Yes, wasn't it?
The 1949 Batman and Robin was both a critical and a commercial failure, and we didn't see a Batman project for the next 17 years. The next time a Batman project got to see the light was with the 1966 Batman TV series. Back in 1966, Batman was already a really popular figure coming straight out of the golden age of comics. It was time to make Batman shine on the big screen. And well, they did succeed in doing that. However, the show being successful had its drawbacks. The 1966 TV series was distributed by 20th Century Fox, who gave the project to William Dozier, who being a normie didn't read the comics and turned the entire show into a parody.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
The character of Batman was played by the legendary actor Adam West, who claimed he had never seen a better script for a project.
I never had to say I'm Batman. I showed up, people knew I was Batman.
Brute Ward played his sidekick Robin. The show was the first to introduce the Batmobile.
Batmobile to airport. Prepare Batcopter for immediate takeoff.
The show had major villains from the comics: the Joker, the Riddler, the Penguin, and Catwoman. Yes, before she was kissing Batman on rooftops, she was giving orders to Joker, who basically took orders from everyone. It was the first show to establish these characters, the city, and the horror it stores. But then it also had dance numbers.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
So the more you look at this, the more you'll understand what the problem was with the 1966 Batman played by Adam West. Being popular as a parody meant nobody could take the character of Batman seriously anymore. The identity of the world's greatest detective was in shambles, and the Batman needed to reinvent itself. The first movie to come out influenced by the dark tone of The Dark Knight Returns was Tim Burton's 1989 Batman. And it was landmark in terms of the story and the genre this movie allowed Batman to live and explore. And just like that, 1989's Batman reinvented Batman for cinema. The role of Batman was played by Michael Keaton. Before he put on the wings of Vulture for Sony's Spider-Man Homecoming, Mr. Mom flew the first ever Batwing. Michael Keaton's Batman was the one who made the dialogue, "I'm Batman," popular. However, not everything was perfect. Tim Burton took everything at the face value and the character and its name quite literally. For example, Batman is a bat, so he cannot help but sleep upside down. In the sequel, 1992 Batman Returns, Penguin is a nose-eating man living in sewers. And Catwoman is Catwoman, so just cannot die because she has 9 lives. It would be interesting if Joe Schumacher kept on with the trend and made Dick Grayson a grey cop.
No. Bruce, whenever you go out tonight, I'll be watching. And wherever Batman goes, I'm gonna be right beside him.
Also, Batman didn't seem to remember his no-kill rule at all times. And I'm totally on board with a darker Batman that kills his enemies. But Michael Keaton's Batman was a little hypocrite.
Let's just take him to the police.
The best thing to come out of Tim Burton's 1989 Batman was Jack Nicholson's Joker.
I kinda like this.
He was charismatic and probably the first ever live action Joker we fell in love with. We are doing a video on the history, mythos and legend of the Joker, so if you don't want to miss that, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I mean, you wouldn't want to miss the Joker video, right? Would you? Joe Schumacher was hired to direct the third movie and Michael Keaton walked out unsatisfied with the script. Listen to me, you hungry corporations at Hollywood. If Michael Keaton says the script is bad, it's very bad because my man has been part of Morbius. What do I tell you?
Hope the food's better in this joint.
Michael Keaton's exit from the role of Batman gave rise to two of the most forgetful Batmen to ever exist, Val Kilmer and George Clooney. After Michael Keaton walked out of the movie because he didn't like the script or something, a decision was made to cast a younger actor. Among the list of actors considered for the role was our very own Keanu Reeves. The casting, however, concluded with Val Kilmer playing the role of Bruce Wayne and Chris O'Donnell playing the first Robin, Dick Grayson. The movie was less dark, more neon.
Come on, run! Wait, doesn't Batman ever kiss the girl?
And someone in the wardrobe department thought it was a good idea for Batman to have big freaking nipples. Never thought I would be saying Batman and nipples in the same sentence, but here we are. Whoever came up with this idea needs to go straight to hell.
All the way down. Sometimes I pull them out just so they think everything is going to be okay, but then I put them right back in.
Good. Good. That makes me happy.
Val Kilmer did a good job with the material he was given. He was quite believable as Bruce Wayne.
I've really got to get you out of those clothes.
Okay.
But the problem was with him being Batman.
You're trying to get under my cape, Doctor?
Neither did he sound anything like the Dark Knight.
It's the car, right? Chicks love the car.
Nor did he at the very least pretend to be the world's greatest detective.
Women.
There were two new supervillains in the movie, Two-Face, and the other is Riddler, played by Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey single-handedly carries the acting division of the movie and is a pleasure to watch whenever he is on the screen. Watching Nicole Kidman as Dr. Chase is also pleasurable for different reasons.
I'll bring the wine. You bring your scarred psyche.
The movie stereotypes both Batman villains to be mentally unstable and even goes further to call them
Wacko. Is that a technical term?
But that's one way to make your psychologist side character relevant. I mean, for a psychologist, she was quite a case in herself.
Night, please. Midnight.
The neon tone of the movie helped with the marketing campaign and the film opened up to big numbers. The financial success of the movie was enough for Warner Bros. To greenlight the next Batman project, Batman and Robin. Now bear with me guys, because Batman and Robin is a tough watch. Also, Val Kilmer walked out of the movie, citing commitment to other works. George Clooney replaced him as Batman. It can be said without a doubt that Batman and Robin was a disaster in every way possible. It was so bad, George Clooney, in his own words, murdered the franchise.
I always apologize for Batman. Let me just say that I actually thought I destroyed the franchise.
Joe Schumacher for the longest time wanted to make a Batman Year One movie. The studio not only put down his idea but also asked Schumacher to make Batman Forever more toy-like, whatever that means. Toy companies were part of the pre-production meetings of the movie. Mr. Freeze's blaster and the Batmobile was specifically designed by toy manufacturers. Even the suit-up shots in the movie look like an advertisement for an action figure. Batman and Robin introduces Mr. Freeze, who is a walking pun.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
Poison Ivy is there, who does dumb stuff.
Bad luck, I'm afraid.
And then we have Bane. Bane. Remember this guy? We have Bane in the movie except he behaves like Grundy. Yup. The movie also introduces Batgirl, who is also there, does some stuff.
Suit me up, Uncle Alfred.
And kills Poison Ivy at the end, so she's good, I guess. Joe Schumacher, being the sweet person he is, apologized to the fans for the movie.
If I disappointed them in any way, then I really want to apologize, because it wasn't my intention.
He took full responsibility for the disaster. The movie did terribly at the box office and Warner Bros. Cancelled all upcoming Batman projects. And even though Joe Schumacher kept pitching a Batman Year One movie to the studios, he never got to work on a Batman project again. Several films got proposed post the Batman and Robin disaster. None of them saw the light of day. Many believed the studios were too scared to ever touch a Batman project again. The night is, however, darkest before the dawn. After a wait of several years, we finally got a true Batman movie. One we not only deserved, but was also needed at that time. Dark Knight Trilogy gave us the best versions of every character we had seen. Batman Begins tells the origin story of Bruce Wayne for the first time in a live-action movie. And we see Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne. In the long list of actors that have won the Dark Cape, many have talked about Bruce Wayne and Batman being two different characters. But never before had we seen both these characters in such a drastically different light.
Where are you?
Here.
As Bruce Wayne, he is a billionaire trying to enjoy his life. He is cocky at times and sometimes even a jerk, I might as well add.
I want to thank you all for coming here tonight and drinking all of my booze.
But as Batman, we see his true darkness unleashed. The scars of his parents' death that he still carries even after all these years. Bruce Wayne, having seen the reality of his city indulging in crime and drugs, takes a journey around the world. There he comes across the League of Shadows and is trained by Ra's al Ghul, who is the prime villain of the movie, alongside Dr. Jonathan Crane, aka the Scarecrow. Christian Bale perfectly blended into the darkness. He had the best suit we had seen in a live-action Batman movie. Nolan's vision was to make Batman look cool and his Batmobile cooler.
I gotta get me one of those.
The Batmobile in Batman Begins and The Dark Knight looked closer to a tank than any luxury sports car we had seen in previous iterations. And all of that laid the groundwork for every Batman movie to come after it. Batman was no longer a superhero with wonderful toys. He was the coolest superhero to have adopted the dark, and these were his weapons. And that paved way for a way bigger movie, where your entire morality is at stake.
I'll look into it. I never said thank you. And you'll never have to.
The Dark Knight is a special film. It explores the relationship between Batman, Police Commissioner James Gordon, and District Attorney Harvey Dent, each fighting to save the city in their own ways. The Dark Knight shifts the focus of the story from Bruce Wayne to Harvey Dent, making him the central character of the story while making Bruce a static one. The main antagonist of the movie is Batman's arch-enemy, the Joker, played by Heath Ledger.
Let's put a smile on that face.
While the movie was under post-production, 28-year-old Heath Ledger passed away, leaving behind the best performance of his life.
How about a magic trick?
Heath Ledger's interpretation of the Joker was a psychopathic, mass-murdering clown with zero empathy.
Let her go. Very poor choice of words.
His performance will go down in history as the best acting performance to exist in a superhero movie. The story of The Dark Knight Rises takes place 8 years after his predecessor. Bruce Wayne no longer dresses up as Bat to fight crime. He is old, no longer in his prime, and has some knee issues. The lines between him being Batman and him being Bruce Wayne has faded away.
There's nothing out there for me.
He stays hidden from the world until a new threat emerges. And then enters Bane. No, not this one. Yeah boy, that's the one. For the first time we feared for the life of our hero.
Ah yes, I was wondering what would break first, your spirit or your body.
Bruce Wayne, having lost everything he loved except for this guy, didn't really fear dying. Death for him would be mercy. Bane, however, denies him that and throws Bruce to the lowest we have ever seen. And the rest of the story is about Bane taking over the city of Gotham and the struggle of Bruce Wayne to stand up again, literally. Christopher Nolan stayed true to his vision and finished The Dark Knight on a high, keeping us forever hungry for more. Nolan's trilogy served as a blueprint for further movies centered around Gotham to come. The trilogy established Christopher Nolan as one of the finest directors in Hollywood and Christian Bale as one of the finest actors to have put on the black cape. The saga of Batman, though, was far from over. Marvel had already finished their first team-up movie, The Avengers, in 2012 and had already logged in 2015 for its sequel, Age of Ultron. The dawn of superhero team-up movies was coming and Warner Bros. Wanted every piece of it. Zack Snyder, another visionary director, was now in charge of setting up the DCEU. At the 2013 San Diego Comic-Con, the next Batman movie was announced and he would go up against Superman.
Next time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it. The bat is dead. Bury it.
Tell me. Do you bleed?
Ben Affleck was cast for the role of Batman, and that caused a massive outcry among the fans. I mean, Ben Affleck wasn't really a Dark Knight material. Batman v Superman heavily borrows his tones from The Dark Knight Returns. Ben Affleck is not your usual Batman. He has had a life much worse than any of the Batmans before him, and he is a scarred, worn-out soldier of the dark. And he has given up on his no-kill code pretty long back. A lot of fans criticize this version of Batman, but like I said earlier, I'm totally on board. You see, Batman wasn't born with this rule. In fact, it was only after the character was further redeveloped and heroes were needed to be law-abiding patriots, this no-kill rule was added to his code. Ben Affleck's Batman has lost everything he cared for, except this guy, of course. He lost his parents and his adopted son, We don't know much about his love life, and Wayne Manor is burnt and left to decompose, I guess. He really has very little to lose. Of course, except this guy. Ben Affleck returned to the role of Bruce Wayne in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and it was a bad movie. So bad that the studio had to shut down all its plans and focus more on solo projects, and thus Batman was rebooted for the nth time. Matt Reeves was hired to direct the next Batman movie, and the actor to wear the black cape this time was Robert Pattinson. Now you know the drill, the fans criticize the casting, but once you have played a vampire, playing the Batman becomes inevitable.
The hell are you supposed to be?
I'm vengeance.
Matt Reeves had a fresh take on Batman. This is neither an origin story nor the tale of the Dark Knight Returns. This is Bruce Wayne in his second year as Batman. Well, he doesn't call himself that.
I'm vengeance.
Hey, vengeance!
He's yet to distinguish himself from the masked vigilante he dresses up at night as. He is at constant war with himself, not knowing what is right. His Batmobile is just a customized muscle car, instead of the tank-like designs we had seen in previous iterations. His city doesn't trust him yet, and that is apparent from his first appearance. The only person to trust him is Jim Gordon. Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne is still learning to be Batman. He makes mistakes.
A few moments later.
The most interesting aspect of the tale is the world building. We get to see Gotham in its truest form. We are told how powerful Carmine Falcone aka Don Falcone is, having most of the high officials on his payroll. We also see Penguin, who is hungry for power in the chaos. Joker was also teased in the movie, and we can see his face in a deleted scene. I guess every director likes to put a little bit of Joker at the end when they are not sure if they'll get a sequel project to work on. The prime villain of the movie is Riddler, played by Paul Dano. He does a great job at keeping the mystery element of the movie at an absolute high. In the movie, he is inspired by Batman to become a symbol. He takes on the corrupt Gotham elite and in his head thinks he's working with the Batman.
We didn't do anything together.
We did. What did we just do? I asked you to bring him in the light, and you did. We're such a good team.
His leap from killing only the corrupt to flooding the entire city felt a little awkward, but then what do I know about twisted people and how their mind works? We also have Catwoman in this movie, and she is an interesting watch. Robert Pattinson's Batman is a rookie, believing his city is not beyond saving and there are still good people left, the ones he wishes to fight for. By the end of the movie he realizes, even though he has made a difference, it is not the one he intended to make, and he is really inspiring the wrong people. He understands that he needs to become something more than vengeance, and he chooses hope. Robert Pattinson was praised for his performance, and a sequel is in works. 9 actors have won the Dark Cape in live-action movies since 1943, and each of them has added to its rich mythos and legacy. Okay, not you guys. To answer which of them was best and perfect is difficult. Adam West made Batman a household name and really popular among kids. Michael Keaton took it out of the campy style comedy and gave it a darker look, and Robert Pattinson's Batman built on everything that came before him and built a beautiful world around it. For me, however, Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight Rises is the best Batman movie out there, and Christian Bale's performance in it is the perfect Batman. Watching a retired Bruce Wayne in his mansion, getting into the Batsuit one more time to save his city when it needs him the most gives me goosebumps. His struggle trying to save the city even when it hates him and thinks of him as a murderer is a battle we all fight among ourselves. As a perfect conclusion to the entire lore, the movie will forever live in my heart and I can never get tired of watching it again and again.